Welcome to the PRFFP, the podcast showcasing the films and the directors of the Party Room Film Festival. This week's director directed Les Pièges, Life is Not Meaningless, Death by Friendship, Obligation, and this year's submission, D. Levi. He submitted early. He broke Aaron Winarowski's streak. Please welcome Mitchell Judy.
Oh my goodness, what an intro. What an intro.
I mean, I can't tell you, like, we're going to pick away at it as we, do this episode, but I cannot tell you how proud I am of you. And I don't assume that means anything. I don't assume that my opinion means anything to you.
Oh, it means so much.
You submitted like a month early. I believe you were like the second person to submit.
I was the fourth to submit.
You were the fourth.
I was tracking like the submissions because I'm like, I really, really wanted to be the first. And Aaron, was Aaron the first to submit?
Yep, he always is. What a loser.
Yeah, no, because I really, really wanted to be first, and Aaron submitted, and I was so close to being done, and I'm like, dang it. So I'm like, okay, I will be the second to submit, and like I think the day I submitted, like there were two submissions, like boom, boom. And I'm like, I was at work and I saw that two people had submitted. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, if I just had the day off work, I would have been the second submission.
Look, I mean, Mitchell, let's just put this in perspective. Like, you have been the latest, like, for a few years. I don't mean, like, literally the latest. But I mean, like, last year, you went up to, like, the very last date.
I went up to... midnight was the deadline. I went up, I think, to 4 hours before the deadline. I don't think I was the last. I think Matt Stice was the last to submit. Was he not?
No, I believe it was Cody was the last one. I think Cody submitted at like 3 a.m. or something.
Yeah,
like
I was about
there
to
was
say,
some
like,
hinkiness there.
I wasn't the last, technical last one to submit. But like I said last year on the podcast, I wasn't going to make anything. So it's kind of like, yes, I was the last one to submit, and I submitted 4 hours before, but I'm like, you know what? I didn't start filming until 2:00 that afternoon, and I submitted it. I submitted at like 8:00. So,
but I mean, like, all right, did early. Super proud of you. Amazing. Aaron Winarowski, he came into this festival. He beat year one. Well, year one, he went against Cody, who didn't submit. So that was easy.
Yes.
Year two, I think he went against Landers, who also didn't submit, I guess. I think year three, he beat me. This is his fourth year in the festival, and you broke the streak, Mitchell.
And year two, he was the Golden Dewey winner. So I just want to have that on the record. I'm like, not only did I beat that film, which I think Andrew said was by one singular vote. I beat him.
Is that right?
Well, one vote, I believe, is what I beat him by. He's a Golden Dewey winner. And if you look at the Party Room page, it's the second most viewed video on the Party Room Film Festival YouTube channel. It's some Chronicles of Light Part 6 somehow like boosted way up there out of nowhere. But like Science is just like a pure, like, it just like shot right up. I sit there, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I beat him, but I'm like, man, it's like kind of like quick film history thing. In 1978 at the Oscars, Star Wars was nominated for 13 Oscars. Star Wars did not win Best Film of the Year, even though it was the highest grossing film of all time. It got beat by Annie Hall. And who remembers Annie Hall? Like, where's that franchise? So I'm sitting here, I'm like,
yeah, where's Annie Hall 2? I don't see Annie Hall 2 anywhere.
I don't know. I'm over here like Annie Hall winning, but Science is like Star Wars that everybody goes back to watch.
So I mean, and we'll get into this like a little bit more as well, but we have a format on this podcast. We try to do it like chronologically. tell me a little bit about, whenever we first get the rules video, you
Yes.
get your line and prop and actor and category. Tell me what you thought of that line and the prop.
Okay, so the line was garbage.
That's
Somebody
fine. I
decided
agree.
to submit that line thinking it wasn't going to get picked, and lo and behold, the most specific targeted line gets
Uh-huh.
picked.
Wow.
So, but the thing is, we got the line. The line was garbage. Snow globe, I can work with a snow globe. That's fine.
Mm.
And I had, who did I use? Was it Tanner again that I had to
Tanner
use
was
on my
your
film?
actor.
Yes. Tanner was my actor. For the second time, he was my actor year 2.
Mm.
So I was okay with everything except the line I was fine with. I'm like, I can make it work. Actually, I had a really good way of using the line. So I went into that rules video with a 100%. I had a whole film plan done, ready to go. I talked to all my actors, talked to this, got the rules video, and everything plugged in perfectly. Like even the line, it plugged in perfectly.
Not to spoil future episodes of the podcast for you specifically, but Sam told me that he knew what this idea was, and he had so much faith in your idea that that's part of the reason that he chose you on his team. Along with being best friends, he was like, "This is a good idea. I want this on my team."
100%. Sam had a very pivotal role. Levi had a very pivotal role in it. Like everybody, I had everything down. Like it was the first time I went in and I'm like, oh my goodness, one of my plans is happening. It is going to happen. This big grand vision that I have is happening. Sam, I don't think he's ever been as excited for something as what that film was. And for the first time, I'm not going to say what the film is because I have the whole thing written still and ready to go. I loved this idea. Loved it. It didn't happen. It is not the film that we got, but I loved it. I still love it. I'm still proud of it.
So you're not giving up anything. I can't even get like a little tease, like anything.
The only tease that I will say is, how do I say this? Okay, I'll put it like this. Think of the Krusty Krab training video.
Okay.
And a Wes Anderson film mixed together. That's kind of that's a good way to explain what the idea is.
And Sam and Levi were absolutely involved in it.
100%.
Okay. Very
100%.
All right. Look forward to that party room.
We've got
6, 7, 8.
Listen, we've got a whole new set of years. We got 5 more years.
5 more years. 5 more years. Well, so tell me a little bit how we got to the idea of delivery.
Yes. So delivery, the idea.
Obviously, that's the name of your. Obviously, delivery is your category, so that works.
Yes. Yeah, which is funny because I could not, for the life of me, think of a name for this film, and then I was sitting there. I'm like, delivery sounds a lot like Levi. And I'm like, Levi. I'm like, I was driving home from work and it just popped in my head. I was in the drive-thru of McDonald's and I was thinking, I'm like, hey, that fits perfectly. I really, really wanted, I mean, when you think about like my poster, think about the name, think about I wanted to mask what I was doing to the nth degree. So I'm like, I don't want to give up anything about what I'm about to bring back to the film festival. So,
which actually, I think I skipped a question here. I'd like to go back.
Yeah.
Why what happened that we didn't go with that original idea?
Just schedules. So literally,
Mm.
it was a matter of everything was good to go, and then all of a sudden, like I had a day. It was a weekend. Like I had a weekend plotted out. I was gonna do some stuff here and some stuff there. 2 days, and
Mhm.
I had everything kind of set. And then
Mhm.
just things changed, and that was the only time that I really had on my end, on my schedule, to do stuff, because I was kind of transferring jobs at the time.
Mhm.
And I was transferring jobs at the time. And the way it worked is I wanted to have everything filmed and everything done and submitted before I started to working overnights.
Yeah.
So I had like a finite, like I have to be done at this time. And everything's slated perfectly. But when schedules started falling through, I'm like, well, I cannot film after X date. So that the only reason that it didn't happen is because I did not have the flexibility to change to. I mean, I was done within that first month. I still had another month to go. I
Mhm.
just didn't have the time with that going switching to an overnight schedule to film any later than that. So that's really the only issue that I had. It was more of
Okay.
a me problem.
I gotcha. No, scheduling is absolutely brutal when it comes to. It's interesting because it does feel like Party Room is like the busiest season for like 90% of the group,
Yep.
but also I don't imagine like it would be any better if we did it like, all right, well, let's do November, December, and then we'll, like I
Well,
don't
you
imagine
got
it would ever be better.
holidays, you got weather, like you got all
Yeah.
this stuff.
So like as busy as it is, I do think that we are in like the best
Mm-hmm.
possible season, but it is brutal.
100%.
Anyway, back to our other question. Like, so how did we end up on delivery? Like this
So,
story.
so D. Levi Ring was literally just a coy so I could make the Le Piège sequel. It was just a ploy.
So you knew going in that you were doing Le Piège too.
So yes, so it does. I guess it doesn't matter now because I did it and I have to change it. The ending of film that I'm not talking about actually tied into Le Piège. So that was like a big
Okay.
thing that was one of the reasons I was so excited for the film. I was excited for a lot of reasons, but there was a Le Piège tie-in at the end of that I was
Hmm.
super excited about.
Hmm.
Um, but I always knew this year, especially because it was the 5th anniversary. It's been 5 years. Like everybody was going to go big. I'm like, I'm bringing it back. Somehow I'm bringing it back. So I knew I had Kayla, an original girl from Le Piège. I had been talking to her for months about doing this. So I knew I had her. I knew she was on board. I was not gonna even attempt doing it if she wasn't available.
Hmm.
Um, but I always knew that I was doing it, and when that fell through, I'm like, okay, well, how about I double down and I do Le Piège 2?
Hmm.
But I sat there, I'm like, but if I just say it was going to be a surprise in this other film. So I'm like, if I just come out and say that's what I'm doing, I thought expectations were going to be way too high because I was getting ready for all the butt jokes and
Yep.
like, oh my gosh, what's he going to do in this one? I'm like, I don't want that. I
Hmm.
don't want that to be. I mean, I went through so many ideas for what a Le Piège 2 standalone film looked like.
Hmm.
So many ideas. Um, and I just sat there. I'm like, no, I have to do something different. Levi was the one actor who still everything worked for him. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I have Levi. So I just landed on, I'm like, what if Levi was in Le Piège?
Hmm.
And I'm like, how do I do that? And then I'm like, but I have to like mask it somehow. So I'm like, how does he get there? So I'm like, well, he has to deliver something, and he just stumbles in. I'm like, so it just kind
stumbles
of
into that
progressed.
universe.
So basically, I knew I was going to do that. Then I knew I
Mhm.
had Levi. How did I get Levi there? What did I do beforehand? So it just kind of built off. That's what I was doing. Don't
Mhm.
want it to be its own thing. How do I mix it in?
Yeah. So it sounds like we're talking about the actual film now. Let's talk
Yes.
about your opening credits. Your opening credits say that you wrote, produced, did the soundtrack, you did all the casting, all of you. I think my favorite one is that you financed it.
I did finance it.
Were you going through a narcissistic phase whenever you decided to make sure everybody knew this was me? I did this.
No, I just thought it was funny.
Okay.
I was writing titles and I sat there. I'm like, well, nobody it's just me and Levi basically. So I'm like, I was in there. I'm like, I wanted to use more of the song, and so there
Yeah.
I'm like, I just don't want it to be so short. And I just
Mhm.
sat there. I'm like, I'm like, what if I just put this? So I was just trying to. I just thought it was funny.
All right. On the motivational poster on the wall, I like
Yes.
that. I like also the meta joke that you have here about, like, Levi is working on the mini pods, and
Yeah.
so he has that poster up there.
Yeah.
As I like that a lot. Now, the mouse cursor is on
Yep.
my face in that picture. Is that on
Yep.
purpose?
No, that was an accident. I printed it. So we don't have a printer here, so I went to the library and I printed it, and it costs 10 cents per print.
Uh-huh.
And I printed a couple of them. They came out and the mouse is on. I'm like, I'm not doing it again.
And you were already so over budget, you couldn't
I
spare
was
another dime.
I could not go over $2 for this film. I'm like, man, if I spend 40 cents, like, I'm gonna be putting strain on every other aspect of this production.
You do a great job. I like that you kind of said that you were just trying to get as much song in there as possible.
Yes.
Obviously everybody at the festival is a big fan of Wimberley, but that being said, all of your, like, establishing shots, like, you do a great job of making it interesting to look
Thank
at.
you.
Tell me, is this video call with Tanner live?
Yes, that is live.
Interesting. So you have
We
them. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that was live. It's funny because I asked Tanner, I'm like, hey, can you do this? And he's like, yeah. And he called and he's like, yeah, he was at a graduation party. And he's
Mhm.
like, I'll step away for like 20 minutes and do this.
That's pretty funny. So, I mean, what type of were there any challenges with having to virtually direct your actors?
Not really. I mean, just because they just talked back and forth. So we just did a couple of takes of each. It was pretty simple.
Hmm. And then I imagine, did you, like, screen record the audio so that you could get clean audio from that as well?
So this is the funny part. I have lav mics. They're wireless lav mics. They are like standalone packs that you just like click record and you can just tuck them away
Hmm.
and you hide them. I use it for weddings and stuff that I do.
Hmm.
So I had Levi mic'd up, and if you look at it, you can
Hmm.
see I have the lav clipped on the cord of his computer. um, but I didn't log which take was which and which with what, because I had so many different takes. So I didn't use any of the mic audio. I just used the phone audio. So I went
Yeah.
to all this trouble miking everything up and getting good sound, and I didn't use any of it.
I mean, it still sounds very good. Like, it still sounds really clean.
That is the iPhone 15 Pro. That is all that.
So, tell me, in your head, is there a reason? Like, obviously the correct answer is because he needed to make a delivery. But
Yes.
story-wise, is there a reason that Levi is so stubborn that he wants to deliver it instead of email it?
I just feel, well, in this universe, Tanner, I guess, is just around the corner.
Hmm.
No, there's really, I no, there's no story thing. I just said, I'm like, he has to make a delivery.
Yeah.
He needs to interact. He needs to get into this parallel universe somehow, and he can't just do that by sitting on the couch.
Yeah. Yeah, something about films where somebody just sits on a couch, you
Yeah,
know? They
I
they
know.
don't go over well.
I know. You expect so much. You're like, something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen, and just nothing happens.
And then they continue sitting on the couch.
Yeah, they just keep going, sitting on the couch, and you just sit there like, I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like this person they just make such good films. Like something's got to happen, right? You might say that they're like the best or something at making films.
Yeah, you might say that there is statistical evidence that they
I
are the
know.
top filmmaker, and so there's no reason that they would submit a film
I
where
know.
they sit on a couch.
Man, it didn't go anywhere. It's like he was trying to make a Lord of the Rings film.
Oh, the views of the podcast guests do not reflect the podcast or its anyway. All right, so obviously epic delivery like this needs an epic montage. Tell me about why we went with Creed, why we decided to add this in.
Because Creed is relevant again. They're on a reunion tour that just got added to 20. We're on a reunion all through 2024. They made the Super Bowl last year. They were on a Super Bowl commercial. They've gotten more press in the last year and a half than they got in all of the 90s and early 2000s. Like, they're relevant again. Everybody knows the song, listens to the song, can't escape the song. So I'm just like, it's kind of like, go back to what was it? Obligation. I used a sound for Paul from a meme. The like, I'm alive, I'm dead, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
That's just a meme that was spreading around TikTok, and I'm like, that's relevant. Like, I'll use that. So Creed is relevant at the time that I'm doing this. I'm like, this is relevant. I'll use that. Now, I'm doing that in the sense that that's not going to hold up in 3 years, but
I do love the end credits where you say thank you to Creed for being relevant again.
it made the entire film. I was listening, so it came up on shuffle, and I was listening to it, and I'm like, man, I'd love to incorporate this into my film somehow. And I'm just like, I'm like, this. He's making a delivery. He's got to get pumped up about this somehow.
Tell me about the direction you gave to Levi, and how awkward was it for him to be dancing like a maniac on a public road?
He didn't. It didn't bother him one bit. It was great. We did. Oh gosh, how many takes did we do? I think we walked back in. Well, if you notice, we just walk and then we go back to the exact same spot and we walk again. So if you look, he's doing the exact same walk at just different points. So yeah. I think we did it like, we may have done like 10 or 11 walks of just, I'm like, just do something. The only thing that I knew, I'm like, I need you to jump when you first start it, that little jump with the fist in the air, and I need you to jump over my phone. Those are the only two things that I knew that I wanted. But
so you left a good bit of improv up to Levi.
Yeah, that was all improv. The only direction I think I gave him during that was, I need it bigger.
Yeah, nice.
I need it bigger.
All right, so then, we're on this epic delivery, music cuts. It reminded me a lot of whenever, like one of our more recent episodes, or the last time that we spoke on the podcast. You said that you wanted to have August play like a demon baby.
I did.
So
August was a demon baby.
How happy were you to make that dream come true?
Oh, I loved it. Well, it's funny because I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I shot that scene. And when I sat down to edit, I'm like, oh, shit, I don't know how to do this. Like, I sat there, I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be great. This is, if I ever made an actual like feature film, like, this is exactly how it would go. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. We're going to do this. And then in post, we're going to add this. We'd shoot it. It'd be great. And I'm like, I don't know what to do or how to do this.
I don't know how to add the things in.
I'm like, I had the vision. We shot what we needed for the vision. I'm like, I don't know how to do what I want to do. That's why it's it's very like copy and paste images because I'm like I don't have time to source like red dot video, clip this. I'm like, I can edit some quick little PNG files on Photoshop and throw them in. And I'm like, what else do I need? Then I threw in like this weird, like escalating demon face. Like,
so we obviously, like, again, you just want, I know that the real answer is I just wanted to have my son involved and we needed a way to teleport Levi into this universe. Do you have like a story reason for, I can use this word with you. Do you have a kayfabe reason to explain why there is a demon baby on the sidewalk and what his relationship is to the youth?
Because his mother is the ultimate demon. She's the hand, and
that's so cute.
He came from her, so obviously he is baby demon. He is baby evil.
There we go. That's fair.
That's not me just pulling something out of my. That's like my thought. I'm like, this is her son. She's evil. She kills somebody. He's evil. He helps get a person for her to kill.
We cut to black. We revisit Tanner. That gets a pretty good laugh.
I honestly didn't. That wasn't gonna be in there. Like that was just when I was editing, I had that clip, and I'm just like, let's just throw it in there.
Well, so we'll have to see like the live reaction video, but from my recollection, all right, cut to black. We do the Tanner thing, big laugh, and then cut to black. And it's black just long enough that we kind of think like, oh, that might have been the end.
That's exactly what I wanted.
But then, almost like the Undertaker showing up at WrestleMania.
Yes.
You hear the
yes. And I made sure to make that loud. I made sure to make the piano loud.
I mean, like again, you know what that means. You know, like when you hear that Noel,
you're screwed. You are screwed.
But I mean, the second we all heard that noise and we're just in pitch black room or pitch black screen, everybody knew exactly what was happening.
So like, again, going back to the wrestling analogy, people in this group, other than you, didn't watch WrestleMania 40, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. We have this. Everybody in the world is like, Stone Cold's coming out. He's going to be the one to take The Rock down. He's going to do it. And then, dong, so much went into that moment. And like this whole film was built around that moment. Pitch black, everybody's waiting, and then you hear the dreaded theme from the film. Everybody's like, oh no. Because the moment you hear that, you're like, I don't know what to expect.
Where are we going? Hold on.
Everything, the Creed, the thing with Tanner, Levi walking goofy, the poster, everything that I did was in service of everything changes now. And this is not what you thought it was going to be.
So actually going back to the Undertaker, just making some, weird, we're just drawing parallel lines. The, Undertaker was 21 years undefeated at WrestleMania. This doesn't make you the Undertaker. It makes you Brock Lesnar. But Aaron was 4 years undefeated. Yeah. And you broke the streak. So just another good little parallel to WWE.
Holly and I, we watched that so many times. Like, before the festival started, like, I was back. I watched the film on my phone, on my Google Drive, just one more time because I'm just like, it's going to be, like, this is, I think it's going to be good. Like, I think this is going to be good.
It was a very big moment.
It's funny because, like, I was listening to Andrew's podcast, and the thing I kept saying is, like, my goodness, Andrew put so much thought into everything. Like, he thought so much through in his thing. He put so much time, and I'm just there, I'm like, man, I wish I put as much time into my stuff. And I sat there, I'm like, oh no, I did. I didn't necessarily put as much time as he did, but I put so much thought into like one note.
Mm-hmm. And it for sure pays off. Whenever, we fade up from the black screen, we've even changed the aspect ratio to like make sure that it's the exact same.
Same app. Same app. I re-downloaded the exact same app. Now, it's a little weird because the camera on this phone is a lot better than the one 5 years ago. So it looks actually a little nicer and sharper, but it's the same app, same everything.
Is this the same graveyard as the first one?
Same graveyard. I went there and I'm like, okay, Levi gets transported. And I sat there. I'm like, what if, and this is what we did. We had Le Piège pulled up shot by shot. I'm like, Levi is going to mimic to a T, shot by shot, Le Piège. So if you watch them side by side, down to the timing, it is 100% exact. Like, we even had to search around because where the mouse trap was sitting, for a second, I could not find that gravestone. I'm like, oh shit, I don't know what gravestone this is. So I had to like look and like use my phone and like hold it up and like, okay, that's it.
That's incredible. Yeah, no, like you said, you put a lot of thought into this. And I mean, putting that, is even work. But even as we, do that, it still has the same feel. Like these long creeping shots, they're very wide shots. It feels as though you are watching Levi while hiding behind something.
Yep. And that's exactly a parallel to Le Piège. She was getting stalked the whole time. Same thing, same feel.
You already said this is the same actress as before.
Yep. And
this is, I don't want to sound like an insane person if I'm wrong, but is this the same dress as well?
It is.
Wow.
She could not find it for a long time, and I actually went online and I bought a dress. This is where the rest of my budget went. I bought a dress on Amazon that looked super similar, but she texted me, I think the day before, and she's like, I found the dress. I'm like, thank God. She's like, I've lost a little weight since then, so it doesn't fit as much. I'm like, I don't care.
Oh, like, boo-hoo, you lost weight. Whatever.
I'm like, I do not care. Like, I just want the same everything.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. Tell me, was it awkward for Levi to what her name is, Rachel, right?
Kayla.
I am so sorry. Good thing I'm gonna edit that out, losers. All right, tell me, was it awkward for Levi to interact with Kayla because he has seen her butt in her
No, I don't think so. That never came up in conversation. Honestly, I was with Levi a lot. So August was with us. Holly came with August. So Holly and August were there on the shoot also, and Kayla was with August quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, Levi and her talked and everything, but it was their interaction. I was working a lot with Levi, like, on his own for a lot of like the walking shots and stuff. So I mean, like, they only interacted for a little bit walking to the thing, and like when we were there doing the scenes.
So why, again, to shoot, it's because it's the prop. Kayfabe, why is it a globe that is the teleportation?
Because it represents home. Inside the globe is the place he needs to get back to. He's kind of like in this weird like nether world.
Okay. Now, did you just pull that out of your butt right this moment, or did you?
No, that's the idea that I had at the time. Like, so the globe was a gift I got for Holly a long time ago. It was a Taylor Swift globe that she had like as a Christmas special. It's the only thing that looked old and vintagey. Had like a weird tree in it, but I'm like, I don't know. It looks the part. So I'm like, let's go with that.
Cool.
But no, that's the idea I had the whole time. That's why I used a snow globe.
To draw upon the Undertaker yet again. You even have Holly dressed as the Undertaker. She has like the mascara, and she even does the hand up.
Yep. I was that when I directed her do that. I wasn't thinking about the Undertaker at all. This is the first time that I'm like, oh yeah. Listen, he's my favorite. He's my favorite wrestler. So I'm like, subconsciously, I could have got it from there.
I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna put you in the hot seat real quick. Okay, this is gonna be a difficult question for you. And keeping in mind, I've already asked you about butts and side boobs. So if
Yeah.
I'm saying this one is going to be difficult, yeah. Are you ready? Are you okay with
Yeah.
hard questions?
Mm-hmm.
Holly's line, "I'm the only one my husband sees naked," and
Yes.
the implication that Levi is in danger implies that you have also seen Levi naked. Do you care to comment?
Wait, what? Yeah. The joke is it's kind of meta in the sense that Levi's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be me. Like somebody watching this is not going to understand that joke. That's a joke purely for the people who've seen Les Pièges
No,
and
no, but I'm
know
saying
me.
like Levi is in danger, right? And he needs to
Levi's
get
no. Levi's gone at this point.
no, I get that, but he needs to touch that snow globe before
To get
Holly
out.
shows up because he's
Yeah.
in danger. That implies that you
Oh
have seen Levi naked,
no.
and
I see what
that's why Kayla is saying you've got to get out of here
no.
because if
I see what you're
Holly
saying.
is hunting him too,
Holly is not hunting him.
okay,
Okay, so here's what let me go into the lore a little bit.
here we go.
So the reason she sends Demon Baby to get Levi
Okay,
is because she is trying to lure Kayla, who has been in this place for 5 years now. She's trying to lure Kayla out and thinking that Levi is there and is in danger. Kayla comes out and tries to get him out when really she's hunting Kayla.
so Levi was bait for Kayla.
Yes.
If
Yes.
Levi had hung around, he would have just gotten a coffee with Holly and it would have been fine.
Exactly.
Okay. So Levi touches the snow globe. He gets back to safety. Is what was Levi's reaction to the joke of like, submitting a podcast late? Like,
Oh,
was he okay with that, or was he like, oh, that's mean? Like, what was his reaction to that?
no, he didn't have an issue. It was more of I just came in and I told him, I'm like, listen, here's where we're going. Okay. Here's where we're going. And everything that we're doing up to this point is kind of a ruse to get to this other place. So I'm like, here's the scenario. I need to get you out of the house. So I told him, like, you have to submit the podcast. You have to be like, I'm submitting the podcast late. I don't think he had an issue with it. So.
Okay. Now, by your own definition, or I guess rather by Tanner's definition, is being in a Mitchell Judy film the ultimate punishment?
100% it is.
Why would you say that? Why do you think it's a punishment?
Because a Mitchell Judy film is guaranteed to be like the trash bin of the Party Room Film Festival.
Which is fine because sometimes you find really cool stuff in trash.
Listen, being a Mitchell Judy film means you're going to have to talk about suicide. You're going to have to toss a camera down the stairs. You're going to have to get naked. You're going to have to dress up in a really cheap fish monster outfit and crawl around in the mud. Like, listen, being in a Mitchell Judy film is a horrible experience. And yet I really want this next year to work with as many people as I can.
You're advertising yourself well, buddy.
I know.
Oh my god, that's so funny. All right. So, do you have any other Easter eggs or stories from the set that you'd like to share before we move on?
Let me think here. What else happened? Like, I think everything happened in a singular day. So I just don't like. I think we've gone through everything that's happened because it was just everything happened in such a condensed amount of time. Like, it was literally boom, 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 boom. So We had to make a stop at Dollar General. Here's some of my production budget. I had to buy a mousetrap. And I had to recreate the Welcome to Hell sign. And I had to buy a pair of gloves. So
interesting. See, I figured the Welcome to Hell sign was actually just like a clip from
no,
the other one.
all that
Okay.
was brand new. I shot everything completely fresh.
Okay.
And I did, but like I said, I had the phone pulled up and I was adamant. I'm like, this has to be like, I showed Levi, I'm like, here, watch this. And I'm like, I need you to mimic this exactly. So that's, I think, where we did the most takes of stuff. Cause I'm like, this has to be exact down to like where I'm standing.
What will Sam put in his mouth?
Welcome to What Will Sam Put in His Mouth. Today we have an old license plate or a dirty lint roller.
What will Sam put in his mouth? Find out after this. Mitchell, as you know, this season of the podcast, I'm giving each of my guests ownership of their own episodes. So this is the time where you get to present on whatever you want as long as it is party room related. So what do you got for me?
All right, Jacob. I am so excited. This is about as recent and topical as I could get. So
Vote G. Okay. All right. Vote Judy 25. Here we go.
There's been a bunch of talk. There's been a bunch of talk in the chat about, hey, I like that idea. There was some positive feedback, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go full force. So I have collected a lot of my ideas and stances, and I've got my executive orders for when I joined the council this year.
Okay.
You know, if you would have asked me like 2 months ago, this wouldn't have been anything in my head. But here we are. You know what? Trevor for council's had 5 years, and it's never happened. This is the first year for Judy 2025 for council. And I think after this presentation, I think I have the best shot that anybody could have to join the council.
I am so excited. Here we go. Just
all right,
man.
All right. Jacob, have you seen the film An Apple a Day?
I have not.
Okay. I believe this was a film at this last Highbridge Festival. A couple people in the group watched it, and and they said this was a terrible film. And a lot of more of us watched it, and we're like, yeah, this is a terrible film. I made a joke. I'm like, Asbury should lose their accreditation over this film. It was so bad. So I'm going to start with 2 rules that everybody has already heard of because I've posted these 2 in the chat. I'll go through these pretty quick. So the Apple a Day rule: any director who submits a film that is voted to have 0 artistic merit by a 2/3 majority of participating directors will automatically concede their following year's film script to be written by that year's Golden Dewey winner and a director of their choosing.
Wow.
Yes.
Wait, no, hold on. Hold on. That's actually,
Yes, this is these first 2 ones are ones that I posted in the chat, and the entire campaign I'm embarking on is based off these first 2 rules that I said I would institute. But I mean, man, if there's just a film that is just there's nothing going on, honestly, I think this helps a person out. You get a Golden Dewey winner and somebody that they choose to write your film for the next year. I think this is a blessing in disguise.
So, I mean, let's be honest with each other. So you are saying that if this was in effect this year for Party Room 5, Zach would have his script written by Andrew and somebody of Zach's choosing.
Exactly. But 2/3 of the directors have to say that that film had zero artistic merit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
and I don't know. It's a rough rule because how many are you going to find enough people to say, I don't know, I can't find anything about this film that doesn't merit something.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay,
hey, if it can happen, I feel like this is a great rule to institute.
Okay.
The next one is the late films rule. And I really enjoy this one. Once a film has reached the threshold of not having a chance of winning despite how many Dewey votes they receive, the film will automatically get redubbed by a random draw of PRFF directors equal to the number of characters in the film.
Okay. So, all right. Once a film has reached what's bugging me, not bugging me, I shouldn't use that. I don't have the right word. What is catching me off guard is how professionally these are worded.
It gets worse. Listen,
Okay.
this is a campaign. If you think this is wordy, there's some doozies coming up.
All right. Once a film, despite one of the few, they automatically get
redubbed.
Draw. Okay. Yeah. So now, all right. Just Mitchell, do you have submitted on time once?
Yes. This would this would apply to me. I'm not pulling any shots. Like, I'm well aware that these would apply to me, but you know what? I have submitted on time once, and I feel like that's going to be a trend.
All right, cool. All right, cool. All
right, the Mitchell Judy rule.
Oh no. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on for your dear life. We're in uncharted waters now. Starting with Party Room Film Festival 6, the Mitchell Judy rule will no longer apply or be enforced. The repeal of this rule will also apply to any director's cuts, special editions, or director's commentaries of any film from the last 5 years of the festival going forward.
Okay. I'm starting to feel the tides turn a little bit.
What tides? Listen, this is not just for me. This is for anybody. I'm sure we talked so much about the original ending to End of the Bloodline 2.
Mm-hmm.
We thought that doesn't necessarily violate the Mitchell Judy rule, but the Mitchell Judy rule just gives even more credence to the fact he can do that. If he wants to do that, he can release it. There's nothing getting in the way of anything that people want to present.
So
this is bringing freedom to the festival.
So you are saying you can have nudity in there and it doesn't have to be your own, is what you're saying?
Yes, okay. I am. I'm not saying I condone it or you should, but I'm saying there is no rule that says you cannot.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay.
All right. The late films rule, part 2.
Okay.
Any director that fails to meet the designated deadline for film submissions will have their name entered into a lottery drawing for a council-sponsored Wheel of Punishment. Punishments will be delivered by the guest judge, the Golden Dewey winner, and 2 third-party individuals chosen by random draw. Anyone attending the festival will be candidates, including guests, wives, and Zach Adams' parents. Punishment will proceed after the end of the festival and the presentation of the Golden Dewey.
All right. Do we have any ideas on what is on this wheel yet?
Well, so it seems harsh and everything, but the Wheel of Punishment is something that I think that's existed since year 2 of this festival. I think the idea of the Wheel of Punishment has been around for a very long time. I'm just putting parameters on how it'll be conducted. I mean, obviously, the first thing that comes to my mind, so when people get engaged and they're going to get married at Asbury, you get tossed in the reservoir. So you should get tossed in the lake for one of them. I think that's fantastic. I think one of them should be however many Golden Dewey votes you did not receive, or you did receive whatever number's bigger, you should have to drink that many bottles of Ale 8.
Ew. Yeah. I'd
I
hate that.
only think about that because I remember Trevor, for his 21st birthday, trying to drink 21 bottles of Ale 8, and he got violently ill. I'm not trying to make anybody ill, but I don't really foresee anybody who's not a Golden Dewey winner receiving 21 votes.
Okay.
Just enough to get a stomach ache. But I don't know. Do you have any ideas for something that could happen to people on the Wheel of Punishment?
I think, well, you're saying that it happens after the festival.
After.
I mean, just classic one chip challenge, something real spicy.
I do like the idea of spice.
That's always a good one. But I mean, what's been trending on like Instagram is like, we can look at some of the like fantasy football losers. Like some of those punishments are brutal. So like whoever, one of the punishments could be like you have to go take an SAT.
Oh no.
Have to enter a amateur wrestling competition. There's some brutal ones we can put on.
I think the most brutal idea that I had when I was thinking of like what could be on the Wheel of Punishment was blindfolding somebody and putting them on the back of the Kubota at Zach's place and taking them out into the woods and leaving them there, and them having to find their way back.
Yeah, I think we found the line. I think.
Well, I'm not saying that's the line. I'm just saying that's the worst one that I've thought of. I think there could be more after that line.
You have to be homeless for 2 months.
See, that's worse. No, I think this is something people could get behind.
Okay.
I think the Wheel of Punishment is something everybody could get behind.
Okay.
10-minute bill. Effective immediately. The time requirement for every festival moving forward will be 10 minutes, 3 seconds, and 69 frames.
You've been pushing for this one for a while.
I've been pushing for this forever. And the power of executive order, I think it can happen. I don't think I'm the only one who would want this. I know there's a lot of joking, but I don't think I'm the only one who would want this. You don't have to use all 10 minutes. You just don't have to stop after 8 minutes.
All right. Yeah, I mean, just we all kind of saw this coming. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that as you are turning into a politician, that you are staying true to your original campaign platforms. You've been on this for a while now, so I'm glad to see that this is still here.
Of course, I'm giving some stuff that people want, giving some stuff people don't know that they want, but will.
They don't know that they want.
I'm not saying you can't have a super short. I'm just saying you don't have to limit your film.
Okay. All
right. The Sam Maddox rule.
Okay.
All right, Jacob. Remember how I said it's going to get wordy?
Okay.
Well, buckle up and see if you can decipher this, because it's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Any reference to a specific singularity of an individual's testicular capacity is furthermore banned unless written and notarized permission is given by an individual carrying such capacity 30 days before the submission of the associated film.
Okay.
Basically, in layman's terms, you can't make a joke about one ball unless somebody with one ball says you can make that joke.
Oh, so it's just anybody with one ball.
Yes, it doesn't have to be Sam.
Okay, all right.
You can find somebody and they can give you written permission, or if somebody is unfortunate, such as Sam in the festival, you can get their permission.
Okay.
So,
and obviously it has to be, you have to have that notarized, and you basically have to have that, 30 days before you submit the film. So what we're looking at is having that permission and notary by June 30th.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Basically, it gives Sam the power to corner the market on one ball jokes. I don't know if anybody has made a one ball joke in any other film, but now Sam has all the power.
Very good.
The Golden Dewey Sustainability Award. I messed that title up.
Okay.
The council will sponsor the creation of a real metal Golden Dewey Award statue and smaller mini Dewey statues to accompany other awards given out at festivals.
All right. I think you will get pushback on this one.
Why is that?
I mean, this has been proposed in the... So let me just make sure that I state my role in this. As, you know, arguably I control the media of Party Room. I am not saying yes or no against all these. I am just playing devil's advocate and saying, like, the facts are that at some point Cody did pitch that he could 3D print us a actual trophy.
Yes.
It has been proposed in the past, and there has been pushback against this.
Listen, but I'm not talking about 3D printed plastic here. I'm talking about true blue, like a precious metal trophy.
A precious metal?
Yes. That precious metal might be aluminum, but at least plated.
All right.
I am talking about a true blue. This feels like a trophy. It just so happens to look like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Also,
I would say personally where you lose me personally with this one, where you lose me is the smaller mini Dewey statues, because
I have a question
make a lot every year.
Have you been the one that makes and or designs the smaller Dewey trophies?
Every year, yes.
So why is there inconsistency with the design?
Because we are innovating, we're moving forward.
This could be innovation. This could be moving forward.
For a year, and then we go back to...
Possibly, or maybe we keep the same one and maybe it makes it more coveted.
Maybe. This is just the one that I think will have a little bit of pushback, but I do see where you're going with it.
I just feel like if you win a Golden Dewey, you should feel the prestige of holding a heavy Golden Dewey. And something that, I mean, realistically, it's a bottle of Mountain Dew that's over 5 years old now.
It's disgusting.
Like, and I think was it drunk out of the very first year? I feel like it was.
Yes, it was. And it's the running joke is that it's kind of like NASCAR, where the winner gets to take a sip. Like NASCAR has the milk.
Yeah.
The winner is supposed to take a sip out of that. I believe Andrew announced this year that it did taste as though something was fermenting inside.
Ew. Ew. Well, yeah. I guess in my thinking is, other than the prestige, how long can that plastic hold up against whatever's going to fester inside there?
That's a very good point.
Ugh. So,
and aside from like the fact that it is a biochemical weapon,
yes.
Because it's like, if Sam had any strain of COVID-19 in his lungs that first year,
thought about that.
Like,
oh no!
Like, Andrew didn't report getting violently ill afterwards, but like there is a chance that like
if Andrew did taste it, then unless he built up an immunity after these 5 years. All right. The Jacob McGlone Dewey Redemption.
Okay. All right.
Jacob,
I'm on board. What do we got?
Get behind this.
Let me see it.
Upon proof that Jacob McGlone has finally defeated Matt Stice at Mario Baseball,
Shut up.
He will receive 3 extra Golden Dewey
Shut up,
votes
Mitchell.
at that year's award ceremony.
Shut up. You shut your mouth. You're a mean person. You're a mean person.
I'm giving you 3 extra votes.
I'm done.
Everybody wants to see you win.
I can't believe you. All right. All right.
Listen, if I think people would vote for this, they just want to see the success.
Moving on.
The Party Room Film Festival Growth Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This one may lose Andrew, but may bring in some other ones. So the council will pursue specific parameters and strategies for the potential growth and sponsorship of the festival. Acceptable sponsorships and partnerships considered will only include Apple, Netflix, YouTube, Mountain Dew, and Taco Bell. The council will also only allow the following individuals to partner with the festival to achieve growth opportunity: Donald Trump, Doug Burgum, Christopher Nolan, Kevin Smith, George Lucas, James Cameron, and anyone from the cast of SpongeBob.
All right, there's a lot to. All right, hold on. Okay. All right, acceptable partnerships considered will only include. So we're not. You don't want to go to Prime.
Do we want this festival to be associated with the Paul brothers?
No, not Amazon Prime. Prime Video.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking Prime Energy drink.
No, I don't think it. I think everyone would be on the same page that we don't go to Prime drink, but Prime Video.
Amazon Prime. They're just caught up in the Amazon of it all. And do we want to support billionaires?
I mean, arguably, yes, if you're going to Apple and Netflix.
Okay, so hold on. With Apple, we use iPhones.
That's true.
We use iPhones. We are dedicated to using the iPhone. Apple's the only cell phone company, only technology company that we could really get something from that would make it worth our while for what we do. Netflix is the only streaming service that would give us the growth that we need to cater to the largest audience possible.
What about Disney Plus?
More people watch Netflix than Disney Plus.
Okay.
And plus,
I'm just saying, Disney Plus goes into like branding deals. We could have roller coasters.
Which film would have the most successful roller coaster?
Hold on.
This could have been its own presentation. Building party room theme roller coasters on a coaster.
I have thought about that. Actually, no, I think it is a party-verse roller coaster that takes you through a bunch of different films.
Okay. So you're saying one film doesn't have enough in it to warrant a themed ride?
I'm saying that. Yes.
Okay. I think we could do a roller coaster. We could use Zach's backyard to make a roller coaster.
That's true.
That can be one of the wheels of punishments. You have to ride the roller coaster that we build.
But also you are saying only allow. I think what people are going to be upset about is that you're saying it can only be these people. Like, these are the only celebrity endorsements we can do. Like, why is Bruce Campbell not on this list? You know, why is...
I don't know who Bruce Campbell is.
You just lost Zach. And Sam, I think.
I didn't say no. I said he's not included because I don't know who he is.
All right.
What did he do?
I'm not digging you out of this hole.
Okay. In my brain, Bruce Campbell produced My Life as a Teenage Robot. That's just where I'm going with that.
Okay.
On Nickelodeon. That's I don't care what anybody says. Bruce Campbell, he produced that show on Nickelodeon in 2004.
Okay. But all right, moving on. The constituents in this non-democracy can decide for themselves.
Absolutely. There's something for everybody. Open source PRFF content.
Okay.
Starting after Party Room Film Festival 6, all intellectual property created by the Party Room Film Festival will become open source. This includes characters, dialogue, music, graphics, full films, podcast episodes, likenesses, etc. Anything deleted from all active channels will be removed from the list of open source content.
I don't know what this means, if I'm being honest.
Basically, this means everybody has freedom to use any Party Room content that they want to.
Oh, so you're getting rid of the Jacob McGlone rule.
Absolutely. This is about freedom. It's about freedom, Jacob.
Oh, man. Okay.
Andrew's not the only one who speaks freedom. I give you freedom.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to use tick tick in your film? Well, you can.
Explain the last sentence. Anything deleted from all active channels will be moved. Like if it gets deleted from the channel.
Basically, if you can find it on anything that we use, you can use it. If you can't find it, you can't use it. It has to be active in a Party Room associated channel, whether it be Discord, Facebook Messenger, what have you.
Okay.
You can use it.
Okay. Cool. Again, we'll let them decide.
Listen, this opens the floodgates for whatever people want to use. PRFF do. Listen, now this is a stretch. And this may take the council a good half a century to make good on, but it will be so worth it. The council will write a petition to the Mountain Dew Company to commission a special flavor of Mountain Dew specifically for the Party Room Film Festival.
I like this one.
Yeah, what flavor? What flavor of Mountain Dew should be the official Party Room Film Festival flavor of choice?
I mean that COVID-19 because we have a bottle that already tastes like it.
We have a bottle of COVID-19. That's the official flavor.
I mean, in theory, all of the Mountain Dew that we drink at festival tastes like either COVID, spray paint, or duct tape. So it's like it won't be a good flavor.
So interestingly enough, the inspiration from this just today. Have you ever had Ghost energy drink?
No.
So we have a friend who came over to visit last weekend and left 2 cans of Ghost energy drink here. It was cherry limeade flavor. And I didn't want it to go to waste, so it's been in the fridge for a week, and I'm like, I'll drink it just because. I tried it, and for some reason in my brain, I'm like, this tastes, I feel like if Party Room Film Festival was edible, this is what it would taste like.
All right.
Cherry limeade Ghost energy drink. It was a flavor that I couldn't quite compute in my head. And I feel like that's what we need. We need our own Mountain Dew, and it needs to be very specific to the film festival. Like I said, this may take half a century to potentially pull off, but we can at least start that process.
All right. Yeah, comment down below. What flavor should that PRFF do be?
Yes.
Doobie.
Collective bargaining and majority rule.
Okay.
Effective immediately after the institution of a new member of the PRFF Council, any organization of non-council directors that seek to impose any rules or restrictions upon the activities of the council will be met with possible suspension or expulsion from participation in the current festival year. Furthermore, any council-specific decisions that alter any festival or council function must have unanimous support to be adopted.
Doesn't this just say, like, if anybody says no to me, they get removed?
That's exactly what it says.
This is the dictator clause. I see through all this legal jargon.
Listen, you can't unionize. You're not allowed to say no if you're not on the council. And if you're on the council, everybody has to agree. or else it doesn't happen.
All right. I see potential issues here, but go on.
Listen, it doesn't just apply to me. This is for everybody.
Hmm.
This is for everybody. I'm just opening it up. I think Andrew could get behind this. I feel like he would like this rule.
We'll see.
All right, got two more. The
Okay.
Big Screen Film Initiative. All right, hear me out. I feel like this is another one we've talked about for a while, but has never happened, and I want to make it a reality. The council will start measures to fund and fundraising initiatives to purchase a screen equal to the fixed standard parameters of Cinemark viewing screens and a suitable quality sound system to create a more cinematic festival. Basically, I want a big freaking screen to watch the stuff on.
I mean, I can provide these. I can personally provide these. Well, not
I can
personally. My
honestly
business
say-
can provide these.
So this may be the one tiny issue with all of these things I'm talking about tonight. I don't know what the Cinemark parameters for their screens are.
Movie theater screen size 45 feet by 30 feet.
Okay. We have Zach's entire plot of land.
We do.
So
I mean,
I'm
at
not-
that point, we can just do basically a drive-in. We set up a giant
Exactly.
board. You know, that's not impossible.
this is, yes. And I mean, where Zach lives, it's so dark down there. Anybody driving by, they're just going to want to stop and drive in because they're like, what's that?
Mm-hmm.
We just found a drive-in out here in the middle of Indiana. And that's how we grow. That's where our growth starts. But no, we've been talking about a big screen for a long time. And I feel like it's finally time to make a big screen and really good sound happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why we haven't done it yet, but I think year 6 is the year for it. I put so much meticulous low end into the audio that you don't hear at the festival. I just want so much bass.
I mean, I can bring subs if you really want me to.
Listen, if you bring subs, I will put low end bassy stuff in purely for the fact that there are subs there.
All right. Well, we will consider it for next year.
I'll start my film off with the THX logo, specifically because there are subs there. And the last one that I've got, and I believe this is another thing that you first talked about, but I latched onto this idea, and this is a cornerstone of something that I want to make sure happens for the Party Room Film Festival. I want to promise PRFF 8-bit. Council will enshrine the idea that in 2027, the 8th annual Party Room Film Festival will hold the theme of PRFF 8-bit and will be video game themed. This includes all films must be video game themed and have video game sets of rules, props, and line requirements.
Yeah, no, I did pitch that one. So
I don't think there has been any better pitch in the history of this festival than PRFF 8-bit.
well, I appreciate it, buddy. And as the Lord Varys of the festival, I will do my best to make sure those whispers come true, whether or not you get into the council.
Listen, I feel like I have laid out a very cohesive set of very tantalizing promises that I think I have the best shot of any person to join this council.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, any last remarks before we sign off?
No, just make your voices heard and get ready for some content leading up to the festival. I have ideas. You thought you've seen attack ads. Just wait.
Tune in next time to find out.
What was Sam put in his mouth?
Mitchell, I've got just a few more questions for you, if that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm curious your opinions on the lineup and how it affects the outcomes when it comes to voting. Do you think that going earlier in the night, going later in the night is more beneficial for your film? What do you think?
It depends, I think, on your film. I think if your film is so, for lack of a better word, iconic and grabbing, like, I don't think it necessarily matters where it is. I mean, I'm thinking of, like, I think End of the Bloodline was really early in the first year when we did it. I think End of the Bloodline went pretty early. I could be wrong about that.
As I say, I really don't recall.
I don't know either. We'll have to, somebody's gonna have to fact check that. But I mean, I know My Girlfriend Does a Screen went really early, and if I remember right, I think The Rotten Roommate also went pretty early.
Yes.
So if your film is like capturing enough and makes enough people laugh and is like so cool, like I genuinely think that it doesn't matter. But I do think there is kind of an edge if you are towards the bottom, just because it's so fresh in your mind. So I would say I wouldn't weight that much, but I think there is a slight advantage if there's nothing beforehand that's just so amazing people can't stop thinking about it.
After the success of the merch that we saw at Party Room 5, what new items of merch would you like to see?
I thought there was a good selection. I mean, like, it sounds weird, but like a jersey would be kind of fun.
Okay.
Like a jersey would be really fun. I
type of jersey?
think maybe a couple different kinds of hats would be fun. Maybe a couple different logos. Like, I don't know. I'm not the biggest merch person,
Mhm.
but like, I don't know, just some variety. Some variety.
What type of jersey would you like?
I mean, that you made yourself that hockey jersey, and I thought that looked really cool.
Mhm.
I mean, like a football jersey would be kind of fun. Like
Okay.
baseball, like one like the baseball button ups would be kind of fun. Oh, something different.
Yeah. Cool. What Lego set would you like to see? A party room themed Lego set.
What party room themed Lego set? I think a bargain Batman Lego set would be fun.
What would the actual set be? Like, what scene would you like to see?
The fight.
Okay.
The fight at the end. I want a Lego version of Sam's house in his backyard.
Like the little patio.
Yeah, I want like a top-down view of all of it.
That's pretty good because you have like the patio right there, and then on the other side you have Robin.
I think if we could do like just Zach's entire perimeter
in Lego,
like literally like the house, the lake, the campers, the other house, like all of that, that'd be cool.
And like, because in fairness, like you would just have like 20 party room films there because you would have the things from Evil, you would have the monster from Wet, you would have a lot.
But you have to sell those as additional little sets, like the little mini boxes.
Yeah. You're thinking like a businessman. I like it.
With Evil, you could even have like little like single Lego bricks of like blood, like the little singular things.
Little studs. It's like, well, if you want it to be accurate, you do have to buy like 58 packs of the studs. So
yeah.
That's good. I like it. What about like a party room video game? What would you like to see?
Party room video game. I think it'd be fun to do a kill happy video game. But you have two options. You'd have two modes. You could either play as do like an RPG, you have to kill this person, or you have like a simulator where you are in Tanner's position and you have to like choose the right responses to get
Oh.
a person to kill the other person. If you choose wrong, they show up and they kill you, I guess.
That's pretty good. That's
Or you
pretty
get
cool.
fired.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. And I thought of another one. Oh, and then you can tell I really like simulator games. I play my GM mode on WWE 2K14 way too much. You have I'm a monster game where you actually have to win the campaign.
Okay. I know what you're talking about, but some people might not. What is my GM mode?
Okay, so my GM mode in WWE 2K games. So basically, you get to choose a show and a general manager. And you draft superstars and you play through 24 weeks of you have weekly shows, you have 4 weeks of weekly shows, and then you have a pay-per-view, and basically it's a management game. Basically, you draft your stars, you have to manage the money, manage their moods, you create the matches, you book stuff. It's a big like business simulator.
So you want to do that, but instead a political version
of
where you have to get Ferguson to win the campaign.
Yeah, you have to get Ferguson to win the campaign, but you have to know that halfway through the game, you're gonna dip and you have to try and build yourself back up.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Mitchell, rate yourself over the years 1 through 5.
Okay, so I guess I'll do like out of 10. Like do like
No,
0
I
to
mean like, which is your worst years and which are your best
Okay,
years?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Worst year is year 4 because I almost didn't even submit something.
Yeah.
And I honestly, like, even when I go back and I see obligation, I'm like, we can just toss that aside.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't count. But I would go year 4. I would go year... I'd go year 3.
Okay.
Because I wasn't in... I just, looking back, for some reason, I had a lot of fun doing Death by Friendship, but for some reason, like, I just don't think it's the strongest of what I could do. It's so not me.
Okay.
If I would go 4, I would go 3,
Okay.
I would go 2,
Okay.
and then I would go 5 and then 1.
Interesting. So you are saying that, all right, so in 5th place is Obligation. Understandable. In 4th place, Death by Friendship.
Yes.
Your first comedy.
Yeah.
Okay. In 3rd place, you are saying Life is Not Meaningless.
Correct.
The infamous suicide.
Listen. It was, I think it was shot well. It was acted well. It did everything it was supposed to. It just did not hit the mark.
It was not the vibe. And then you were saying that D. Levi is in 2nd place and Le Piège is in 1st.
Le Piège is a classic.
I don't know.
Listen,
it's your opinion. I don't know why I'm trying to fix it, but I don't understand how you can say that D. Levi is not your best film.
D. Levi wouldn't exist without Le Piège. D. Levi, all of the heavy lifting comes from Le Piège establishing its iconicness.
All right. You argued that well.
But also, when we did our votes, Le Piège is in my top 10 Party Room Film Festival films.
Okay.
And that is 100% self-brag. I love that film. That is my pride and joy.
All right. Well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. This has been the PRFFP, and I'm just hanging out.
with my family.
Mitchell, what are you? No, do it right. What are you
Listen.
doing? No, do
I-
it right. Do it right.
With my family.
No, with my family.
With my family.
You, Mitchell, it's stuff like this. Stuff like this.